The big chat over the last like 6 months has been all the contraband checks, especially when you get up to Fifth and Mountains. Go through kind of what I've heard that they pretty much finger fuck every piece, every pocket, and guys almost get like dropped or day zero restarts every class.
Yeah, there were a couple guys that got dropped in my class. One of them, I think, was because he had, and this was after they did the contraband layout, he had some sort of gum that it wasn't as simple as caffeine gum, but it was like gum with like a specific chemical compound in it, and then he just got dropped. I'd say contraband like that, they won't day zero you. They'll definitely most likely drop you. They take integrity extremely serious there. When you get to mountains, they will do a layout. They do a layout, contraband layout, each and every phase. Mountains, they'll check your body, they'll check your equipment. They'll be as thorough as they possibly can. But I obviously they're not perfect. I can honestly say that I never saw anybody like outright with contraband. Like I never saw people putting zins in, and to my knowledge, I'm sure there may have been some people, but I didn't really hear of anything. It's really not worth the risk, and you're so tired that just like the smallest bit of something really isn't going to help you. But they definitely do contraband layouts, and then if you try to use contraband on the FTX, I mean you're so tired that if you think you're being sneaky, putting a Zin or something like that, when they're doing your AAR and you're going in and out, or if you're just kind of like dozing off, they'll see something.
Yeah.
There was a guy I went through school with who got dropped 3 years prior for Zins and Mountains, and it was because he got caught with one in like during an AAR. And your cognitive function is also just so low at that point too that if you're trying to be sneaky with something, you're just gonna slip up. And it's definitely not worth the risk.
Do you see anybody, because we've heard stories about, rappers not necessarily people sneaking contraband in, but having an old wrapper in, the back of an assault pack or in the side pockets on the 1-quart canteen pouches?
So I only heard of one instance when I was in school of a guy who fell into a situation like that, and he had a can of dip or a can of Zins in his assault pack, and it was like stuffed in the bottom somewhere, or it was like tucked in one of the sleeves, but it was
February?
Empty. Yes,
I know who you're talking
but
about.
it was empty. And so what I think happened is he went on his Derby pass, and when you go on your Derby pass, like you bring your assault pack to carry stuff around, whether it be to get repairs, put stuff in your bag. But he went to Mountains and they were checking it and they found a can. Now it was empty. Do I think it was an accident? Yeah, I actually, whether it was, I don't know. But do I think it was an accident? Yeah, I do. But still, it's
the
attention to detail kind of thing.
It was actually Zen from Bullock, because he had found one before he went to Ranger School. I told everybody, make sure you put your fingers in every pocket, every hole. He found one can empty in the back of his assault pack, and he was so happy he found it, threw it away, not knowing that there was a second one in there. And this kid, the hard part is he put up a fight, which he didn't win. And when he was telling me the story, I kind of had to be the bearer of bad news. I said, you're saying the same thing everybody else does. There's not anything different, because everybody, it's a mistake. It was there before, I didn't. It doesn't matter. But yeah, he actually had pulled one empty can out before he went into Derby.
Jeez.
Not knowing there was a second one back there.
Yeah, the other thing too is like chow birds are a thing. I got a piece of candy in mountains from a chow bird, and that was the only time. Back in the day, they used to say they would get like McRibs or like McDonald's cheeseburgers and stuff like that. That never happened, but we did get a little piece of candy on a bird in mountains, and the RIs are completely aware of it. They know it was a thing. I think one of the first sergeants was actually in the bird with us when we were getting handed stuff, and they totally understand. It's like a tradition thing, but give your wrappers to the crew chief. Give your wrappers to somebody who is staying on board, one of the aircraft personnel.
Oh shit!
Don't put it in your OCP blouse. Don't put it in your pocket, because you can take that with you somewhere else, and then they'll find it and they'll be like, I got it at Chow board. I believe you, but there's like no certainty. There's no way for you to prove it, and on top of that, they can also make the argument, well, you're a Ranger student, you need to have attention to detail, you need to have critical thinking skills. If you're not supposed to have this on you, if you're technically not, you shouldn't have it. So, similar with the Zin situation, I believe you. I believe that, a lot of the times, it is a mistake, but you need to have the attention to detail, or at least the thought process to, hey, I shouldn't have this on me, or at least think about, hey, listen, I should probably do a PCI, a PCC of my own equipment to make sure that I don't have any problems.
And have somebody else do it behind you.
Yeah. Check your buddy.